Okay, so wanted to make this video. I'm just doing a late night drive, testing this ride out. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll project my voice a little bit. I don't think I'll be on here for too long. Hopefully not. Kind of want to drive without doing a video. But I was down in Jacksonville today, looking at vehicles. Got something, traded in the truck, so got rid of that. Was able to get an AMG 53 or AMG GLE 53. So this is good in terms of cargo space and for the dogs and stuff like that. So not too bad. Liking it. I won't say it's like anything super special, but it is black on black, so it's really nice. Yeah, so it's pretty nice. I like it. It's not too bad. I mean, it's no S-Class, so there's that part. So it is what it is. Still got the S, of course. So I was in Jacksonville, and I was at this place called like Rock Crab or something like that, and saw this woman at the counter, and found my way in terms of like starting a conversation. But then, you know, the conversation, and it was just innocent, like, okay, you know, I want to have what she's having, blah, 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 that joke. But she was cool enough, friendly enough, and we started talking and stuff. But what I'm really starting to see is that geriatric millennials, women in their 40s, like, I won't say they hurting out here, but there's a change. They getting into that auntie age, that older age, so on and so forth, where they are, like, changing in terms of how their delusion is meeting up with reality. This woman is, you know, had her last kid at 24. She's been married 3 times. And she told me straight up, right? You know, I don't believe in sneaky links and all this other stuff. And I know what this shit is, because this is the second time this shit has happened to me this year alone. Where they start talking, they have a husband, but they try to explain or try to show you the opening that, hey, I'm married, but, you know, we could do something. Like, quote unquote, play your cards right, you can hit it. Like, I mean, you just hear it, and it's like, bro, are you fucking serious? Like, why even get fucking married? I mean, we know why I get married, because she was like, you know, I was like, wow, you're a serial monogamist, right? And I just said this shit to her. She's had her first marriage 3 days after she turned 18 to her older dude. Older dude used to abuse her, and he didn't like the fact that if she looked at some other man or some shit like that, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then second husband, she had all her 3 kids with him, you know, all same baby father, blah, blah, blah. She starts talking some of the black stuff, like, you know, people like us and all. It's just like, you know, women run game in a different way, especially like black women. They run game in a different way. They're game, or they're submissive game, or they're, you know, I'm down with the cause game. Like, you know, like they run game differently. It's not how dudes run game. And hopefully y'all can hear me, because I got this shit in the cup holder. Let me just move this shit up here. It's not like the game where it's like how dudes run game, trying to get in your drawers and all this other shit. It's like, oh, I'm down with the cause, you could trust me game. You know, I'm one of them good women game. I'm loyal game, you know, like that shit. Like, they run shit like that. Like, they try to like, oh, okay, I know you a man, but I'm a softer person. You know, I could be your yin to your yang type game and shit. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm just like here, they're listening to it. I had nothing else better to do. I'm kind of waiting, you know, so they can give me something on the trade. Trading on the truck wasn't horrible, but, you know, it was acceptable. Put it like that. And then I put a little money down, only to cut down on stuff rolling into the payments of this vehicle. So there was that part. But I'm just waiting, you know, like for a call back to see if I can like get a better deal, and maybe them doing 1 or 2 things on vehicles, you know, kind of give me the same deal they gave me on the S. So I didn't totally get that, but it wasn't horrible. It was an acceptable deal. But I'm just like waiting. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'll fuck with you in terms of just having a conversation, right? Like, I really have nothing better to do. And I'm just thinking, I'm just looking at her and almost looking through her, and I'm like, wow, man. you're 40 and talking like this, like your husband is still out there. Like, yo, not a bad looking woman at all, like thick, you know, mature looking, blah, 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 right? But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, what? You got, like, you should be done. And your husband being 70 and all this other shit, that shit ain't the problem here, lady. The problem is you still want to be out here hot in the pants doing all this extra shit. You're 40 and don't want to stop. That's probably what I named the video. You're 40 and don't want to stop. Still talking about tubes untied. Oh, you probably want a girl that can have kids and all this other shit, right? Kind of mentioning it. And I was like, well, yeah, I was thinking about surrogacy and maybe adopting or something like that. So we'll see, you know, whatever. And then, you know, she's like, oh, you don't have kids? I was like, nah, I don't have kids. And, you know, I told her what I was in town for, and I didn't really like lead with all that type of stuff, but I said it later on, and then I showed her a picture of what I wanted to get. But this was like, I texted her the picture, so I had already gotten the number. And the way I got the number is she asked for the number. She's like, I want to keep in touch with you. How can I keep in touch with you? Do you have Facebook? I was like, yeah, I have Facebook. Because in my head, I'm like, I'm not giving you Facebook. Like, not that I'm hiding anything. I'll give you Facebook later. But no, bitch, I do numbers. Like, let that other nigga over there that really wants to get into your drawers. Because that was another thing. A dude that she had saw before walked in. And then, you know, he started, like, whispering to her. And, like, because he knows I was talking with her. But just we were just having a conversation. If it didn't go anywhere, it wasn't me trying to run game, trying to say this. It was just me having a conversation because the bitch was open. Like, I knew she was open. Like, it was just like, hey, man, she open. Like, we ain't worried about this shit. This is kind of like, all you got to do is say, add one or two things, say something that really piques her interest, and boom, you in. You got it. Like, I'm not saying, because you know me, I'm not that guy. I never try to be that guy. I try to come off as that guy. But I'm like, I had the semi-confidence to say, you know, this is not a problem. You know, like, I can do this. And if I don't do it, no problem. It is what it is. And that could be me being 40 plus now, right? But, or not 40 plus, we're getting there. But, I'm just talking with her, and it's just like, I'm just seeing this shit, and I'm like, I'm seeing through it. Seeing through it the whole way through. Just seeing through the shit. And then it's like, I'm like, yo, listen, I know you married, but that ring don't mean absolutely fucking nothing. That ring is an accessory. That means absolute, bitch, you're out here. Your girl's tripping it up. You're going to Jamaica and getting the full body massage, inside and out. You know what I mean? Like, yo. Yo, I'm just looking at this shit and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong? Anyways, let me continue on. I keep doing this. So, while talking with her, I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, all right, well, you know, we get into some esoteric things, talking about the vessel and talking about, you know, one or two things that I learned from BGS. So I started putting that stuff in there because, you know, that piques their interest. And, oh, wow, he's intelligent. He's this and all, you know, it does that type of shit to him. Right. And she was like, oh, I like that. She was just saying, I forgot what she said I like it to. I don't know if it was the esoteric. No, I said, I think I said, you know, history repeats itself, but history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. Or maybe I was talking to Alonzo about that earlier on in the day. No, she got triggered off of something else. Or she said that off of something else. Anyways, so I'm like, okay, you know, this is cool and all, but to be very honest, you know, in my head, I'm like, yo, she's married. When I heard she was married, I already knew it because I saw the ring, but it was just conversation. And then when she started giving me that in, I was just like, when are y'all gonna stop? You got 3 kids. You got it with this dude. I mean, you're telling me how you like a man's last name. Like if I'm not gonna be no sneaky link. I like a man's last name and his benefits. And like, you know how they just tell you that shit straight to your face? And it's just like, I would never marry you, bitch. Because you like a man's last name and his benefits. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, why the fuck would you just say that shit? Why would you say that shit? And you still talking about how your husband's still out there. No, the sucker is still out there. Not your husband, bitch. A sucker is still out there for your ass. You 40-something years old, about to be 41, and you still looking for a fucking sucker, dude. Like, if you don't get the fuck up out of here, that should have been secured a decade ago. But no, at 24, you had your last fucking kid. She got a kid in college, kid in senior, and then another one that's like about to be a senior, like a year and a half away or some shit. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, you're done, and you don't want to stop. Thick as all hell, titties, ass, all that stuff, right? Like, not too fat, but, you know, she thick. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, she was like, oh, what type of woman you like? And I put it out there, right? I didn't say her, but I said, yo, listen, yeah, like, if you clone yourself, yeah, I could fuck with you. If you had a single clone, I'd fuck with you. And then I was like, yeah, you know, you need to hook me up with one of your sisters or something like that, you know, or friends. Oh, I don't like hooking nobody up with my friends because then if it goes wrong, they get mad at me. You know, trying to justify how she want to keep me to herself in a sense. Again, I don't know where it's going to fucking go, but I see what it looked like. Like, I see what it looked like. She texted me, can I ask you a personal question? Would you be mad? I said, no, I would be mad. I was like, nah, I would be mad. And I said that jokingly. And then I was doing the deal with the car. And then, you know, by the time, like, I drove home and shit like that. And then I was like, oh, I was just playing. What's up? I was like, so, what did you want to ask me? And then I said, like, I don't know if I didn't say I was just playing. I was like, so what did you want to ask me? And she started, no, that's what I did. I did a whole bunch of emojis and shit like that. Kind of signifying that I was playing. And she asked me, she was like, oh yeah, you know, my cousin, she wants me to be a surrogate. I just told them they have to give me a tummy tuck. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, she would have to get her tubes untied at 40. And, you know, I'm like, yo, just stop. Just stop. Let your cousin find somebody else to hold a baby. Like, just stop. Because she's saying it not because of her cousin. She's saying it because she knows that I'm single, no kids, and possibly will want a kid. And she's still trying to make sure, she's still trying to make it known that she is viable, or she's viable for procreation, to have a baby, possibly. Like, that's like the underlying, you know, when Ed talks about female politicking and stuff. Like, that's the underlying thing that you're talking about here. You're not talking about your cousin. You're talking about me fucking you and possibly, like, you know, trying to get, like, you know how you bait somebody? Like, listen, man, you know, I'll give you $5 off, knowing good and well you ain't never gonna give that person $5 fucking dollars. Knowing good and well that $5 off is already included in the price. And so the $5 off is already included in the price, and you're not gonna give them the $5 off. So a $20 item should be $15, but really you're gonna sell it for $25, or they're gonna end up paying $25. Some way, somehow, they're gonna end up paying $25. Like, that's what it's fucking look like. That's what I fucking saw. Now, it remains to be seen, but come on now. Like, come on now, dog. Like, a little Boosie, come on now, dog. Stop it. Get some help. This is what's happening. A lot of these chicks are 40 plus and they won't stop. 40 plus and they just won't fucking stop. Like, dude, how you gonna be a whole married woman, third time, definitely wasn't the charm, and you still running this type of game? You still out here trying to do X, Y, and Z. You still out here, oh, my husband's still out there. For who? Not for your 40-year-old ass who likes to deal with older men. Now you're the older woman. talking to me about, I'm 37. I'm about to be like I always say 40. I'm about to be 38 in November. And she's talking about, oh, you still got breast milk around on your cheek. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, and I made a joke. I was like, oh, I guess that's what all the gray hairs are, right? Like, oh, you know, like the gray hair is the breast milk. And I'm like thinking to myself, what the fuck? Like, and again, this goes into the women try to like, especially black women try to little boy you, right? Like they try to little boy, you know, like treat you like you young or what have you. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this chick? Why was she trying to position this air freshener? Oh, okay, that's a good position right there. And I'm like, yo, what do you think you're doing? What do you think is going to happen here? Like, at most, we gonna link up. I'm gonna try and blow your fucking back out. Because another thing is, within the first conversation, and I let her blame it on the alcohol, right? Because she had already drank something, and she was drinking a Hennessy and like iced tea or some shit, you know, and then she's going to drive after that. And she was saying some shit, and then she was just like, I don't know if she just gets tipsy quick, but she seemed like she was in control. But I'm like, oh man, that Hennessy getting to you at the bottom of that cup, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And I'm like, what the fuck, lady? You just out here running fucking I'm tipsy and drunk game, talking about how this short dude was your best lover. You telling me that? Bro, if our conversation was an hour, I would be surprised. No, yeah. Our conversation was probably about, I think I was in this place for maybe an hour or something like that. And she's saying this shit, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? I know it's a ramble. It's very incoherent. There's something here. Maybe somebody will get it. But it's just... I know it quote unquote shouldn't amaze me, but some of this shit still is like question mark. Like, who do you think I am? You know, what are dudes doing that are quote unquote letting you get away with this shit because they just want to fuck? Like, because I'm cool with not just fucking a rando off the street type shit. Like, when I say rando off the street, I mean like a chick that you just met. You don't really, you know, so I'm cool on it. Not cool with it, but like, I'm cool on, like, I don't, oh, okay, I met a bad bitch at the mall today. We was walking around. I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck as much anymore. Like, I'm not saying I don't totally, but I just don't give a fuck as much anymore. Like, it's just like, oh, okay. Well, you know, she was out here. I saw her. It didn't work out. Like, oh, I gotta meet this chick. She could be the one. No, none of that. She could be the one to destroy everything in my fucking life. Put it like that. Like, just, that shit's over with. Tap to prevent the vehicle from turning off. That shit's over with. That shit, all that. How long have I been here? Okay, it hasn't been that long. That shit's over with. That shit, all that garbage, no. Don't give a fuck. Like, I could just go ahead somewhere and buy it. Call it a fucking day. I could buy a bad bitch. And I've said that, I've been saying that for years. And now it's kind of like, yo, like, yeah, I would like to meet somebody, but at this point, I'm like, yo, listen, I'll pay for even the kid. Just give me a surrogate. And then I'll just cut back on work, focus on the child, raise a kid, all this other stuff, be a single father. Because this shit here is ridiculous. The shit that these women expect you to like, it's like reality. Like I said it earlier in this video, but reality is really clashing and meeting up with these women's delusion. Like, these women are so fucking delusional in some of the things that they're saying, thinking, the way that they're acting, the outcomes that they still expect to have. Like, you can't expect, like, for real, you really think that your husband is still out here? Come on, baby, for real? Like, For real. I don't get it. I'm shaking my head. I'm like, your 401k is what you saying it should be out here. You know, all this other shit. Like, you trying to run all types of, you trying to run that, how can I fucking say it? You trying to run, what's it called game? You try to run, you still trying to run husband game. Like, come on, man. You still doing husband game, baby? Where they do that at? You still running husband game? Like, come on. You still running husband game? What the fuck is wrong with you? Sorry, I'm like adjusting the mirrors here. You still trying to run husband game? You still trying to run, I'm trying to find my one game? You still trying to run, I'm a queen, still, I want to find my king game? Like, that's the game you still trying to run, dude? That play over with. You've been sacked already. 3 times. 3 times. You've already, like, somebody else has already scored on your touchdown and did the fucking tutty dance. They got the tutty, touchdown, the TD, you know what I mean? They got the touchdown 3 times up in that ass. It's over with. It's done. You're done. Sound like fucking accountable commentary. I love that dude's channel. He's like a David Carroll, but like with a New York accent and funny as fuck. You're done. You're done, Keisha. Yo, and bro, I don't even want to say, in no offense, all due respect, but I don't mean nothing by it. It's just I'm just looking at it and I'm like, yo, it's over. It's okay. You ain't gotta do this no more. Like, relax. And I think just people don't want to relax. They don't want to stop. They don't want the ride to be over. You 40 plus and you still running this type of game. You still playing this shit. You still going back and forth with people and doing this shit. My husband's still out there. Come on, man. You need to be at home chilling. Or, like, I understand you want to get out, you know, away from the kids and shit. But, like, yo, you need to be relaxing, man. Watching Netflix on a Saturday or Sunday, maybe, you know, with your man and getting your ass rubbed or something like that, man. And if that's not the dude for you and he don't want to do that, then maybe, you know, yeah, you picked wrong, but I'm sorry, you 40 with 3 kids and you still trying to be out here? Ain't no ass rubbing for you, man. Ain't no ass rubbing for you out here. It's cheek clapping. You might get it rubbed after the cheeks clap, so the guy, like, so he can be soothed, and, you know, that, like, you know, instead of counting sheep, you just rubbing ass cheeks. 1 rotation, 2 rotation. No, 1 caress, 2 caress, 3 caress, 4 caress, 6. Yeah, like, that's all you getting after he done busted his fucking nut. He just chilling. You might wake up, oh, make me a sandwich. It's done. What you doing? It's giving. You need to chill the fuck out. It's done, man. 40 plus, if you ain't got it, like, and bro, the same thing can go for men. I'm not trying to make it balance here, but yo, at some point you really have to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is my direction in life. All right, I don't want to do all the other stuff anymore. That shit don't move me. It don't do anything for me, blah, blah, blah. I just, you know, we done ski with it. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to continue my drive now. It's already getting early in the morning. It's 5:30 already, 5:30 a.m. And I have to take down a wireless access point, kind of, sort of, before the sun comes up. So I got to do that here in a second. All right, with that being said, Talk to you all later. Appreciate you as always. Peace.